Good morning. I was watching these videos this morning. I don't know, I saw something on YouTube and it was a woman, happened to be a large black lady in like a Target, who got to the cash register. She didn't have enough money. She started talking about reparations. She wanted to talk to a manager about giving her free stuff, and she was scary and belligerent, and followed this security guy into his office, and the guy was obviously threatened. He punched her right in the head. It was all on camera. It's crazy. And then I started watching more of these videos, and it just so happened that a lot of them happen to be black women, not all of them, but it just, the reason I'm bringing that up specifically is I had this instance that happened to me when I was in junior high like this, and it was horrible, man. It was a horrible thing, and I'm just walking in the car here to talk about it, and all these other memories flooded into me, and it's the reason I became the guy I am now, where I'm never going to take any crap from anybody, and I'm not afraid to get physical if I have to. I never want to, because it's not nice to hurt anybody. It's not a nice thing to do, but there are times when people are asking for it, and you're in a situation where you have to. I had a lot of fights growing up as a kid, a lot of street fights. I grew up all over North Jersey. In the summertime, I was down the shore, and even back then as a kid, that was a normal thing. But I was raised to, you never put your hands on a woman. You don't hit women. I was never a big guy, but I was always pretty strong, and I knew how to defend myself. And I don't know where this came from, but I can remember some of my earliest situations, and I've got friends that watched it all happen. I would just do this thing naturally where somebody's bullying me or picking on me, and they get really close into my face, and my just natural reaction, I don't know where it comes from, but I would just grab you by the throat and kind of step on your foot at the same time and push you over and land right on top of you, and you're out. It's over. Fight's over. That works, by the way, with just about anybody, any size. If you weigh 100 pounds and somebody weighs 240 pounds, it's not going to work, you know. But it's a pretty good one. But then I had I had this other memory that's just terrible, where I lived in Kearney as a kid, and we moved away, and a couple years later went back. My mom went back to visit her friend, and I went walking around Kearney, saw some girl I barely knew and said hi, and she was with another girl. And I'm thinking I'm probably like 8 years old at this point, 8, 9 years old. I mean, walking around the city by myself. And these girls started picking on me, which then turned into bullying. Oh my gosh, I'm getting a little shaky remembering it, man, because it was horrible. They scared the crap out of me because there was nothing I could do. You can't hit girls. You can't touch girls. They got these sticks even, and they were poking me with these sticks and hit me with these sticks, and I'm kind of like walking fast, and they got me up against this wall, and there's tears coming out of my face because I don't know how to deal with the situation. I'm just a child. And some lady came to her window and scared them off, and I thanked her, and I just, I felt like a wuss, man. I felt just demoralized and terrible, and it was a horrible feeling being bullied like that. And I've been bullied plenty before that and even after that. And now we jump to Patterson. I'm going to this school. It's PS 27, all right? Half my class lived in the projects, black and Puerto Rican kids and all that, which I don't care about any of that. I got along with pretty much everybody. But there was this one girl, her name was Lisa, and she was this big black girl. She was bigger than most of the dudes, and she was a loudmouth, obnoxious asshole. Straight up. There's no anybody else. If you're watching this and you went to school with me at PS 27, 1980 graduating class, 81 from 8th grade, 81. Yeah, high school is 85. And I remember going home and telling my mom about it. And my mom was, that's the worst person to go to for advice. Every time she gave me advice that I took, it just basically got me into more trouble. And my mom said to me, well, just tell her to shut up. Well, I did that. I just couldn't take it anymore. She would disrupt all these classes and make a scene and be obnoxious and just make it all about her. And she was just emotionally underdeveloped, right? She would just vent and just, it was all about her, and she's a victim. Even back then, this was a thing. So I tell her, hey, just shut up. So to that, she gets, what? And for the rest of the day, she was in my face and literally smacking me, hitting me in the face in front of all the other kids I was in class with, and I took it. I took all of it. I just, looking at her, I was very calm, and she's smacking the shit out of me and cursing at me and in my face. And it's incidents like that made me think at that time, like, I'm never taking this. I'm going to get to a point someday where I'm a man, and I'm never taking crap like that from anybody. It's just the embarrassing factor of it. And that was going to just be the end of this video here. But then I was remembering there are 2 incidents in my life that I can remember. 3 if I include my sister one time, because she was creating a serious problem with my father, who had already had a bunch of heart attacks, and he shouldn't be pushed. She was pushing. And I got up and I did get physical with her one time, just where I kind of grabbed her by the throat there and pushed her up against the wall and said, hey, you need to calm down. And it scared her so much she didn't come home for 3 days. But there was 2 other times where I literally just had to defend myself, and it's insane. And one of them was in high school. Was it high school? Yeah. So I lived alone, as I've mentioned before, since I was 14, and I ended up down the shore. I had a house. I always had some little beach house every year. And then in the summers, I lived in this boarding house and rented a room. And my friends would come over all the time with beer, and a lot of times with girls and that sort of thing. And one night, there's a knock at the door. There's 2 dudes I know. They got a case of beer and 3 girls. All right. Right away, my one friend goes in the back room with the one girl. And my other friend is with the other girl on the sofa. And it was a weird kind of L-shaped situation. Like, there was a framing put up for 2 bedrooms, so they created like this dining area and then a living room and front porch over here. So if you were sitting at the dining room table, you couldn't see what was happening over against the wall in the living room area on the sofa. But all I know is I hear them kind of going at it, and I hear a smack and then another smack. So this chick had hit my buddy, and my buddy slapped her back. And I'm at the table with the girl that drove the other 2 girls. And the girl that slapped my pal is freaking out, man. So she wants to go, but the girl that drove her girlfriend, and I are getting along fine, and the other girls with my buddy in the back room, you know what's going on there. So this woman, this girl, she's a girl, high school, she is flipping out, man, and she wants to go. And so she wants to go, she goes outside. Hang on a second here. So she goes outside in front of my house and just starts having a fit. And it's nighttime. It's probably, 10:30 at night. It's the winter time. It's quiet usually. And I had to be careful at this place anyhow, because I had parties broken up by the police, and they were kind of had an eye on me. So I tried to keep everything in the little house. But she's out there causing a scene, yelling, screaming, all of this. So I go out there in an effort to calm her down. Like, hey, calm down, stop yelling, stop screaming. I got neighbors here. F you, boom, boom, boom. She starts running at me with her arms swinging, trying to claw at me or hit me. I'm like, what the heck is going on? So I'm deflecting. I grab her by the wrists, I hold her. I'm like, hey, you got to calm down. And I just kind of push her away a little bit. And she attacks me again. If you don't tell me what to do, don't tell me to be quiet, blah, 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 blah. And she attacks me again. Now she's really swinging and clawing and trying to scratch at me. And I'm, again, just deflecting all this. And I grab her by the hands and I push her away again. I said, please, would you stop? Calm down. I don't need the police coming to my house. But 3rd time she comes at me, blah, blah, screaming, yelling, screaming. So this is the 3rd chance, right? Just with this part of the heel of my hand, I just gave her one shot right in the forehead. Nothing that's going to hurt her, break her nose or anything like that. Well, bam! Right off her feet, man. Boom! Lands on her ass in the street. And she's looking up at me scared. I can't believe you hit me. What did you want? What did you expect? She runs in the car, and now I decide to have a little fun with this. When she gets in the car, and I ran to the car, and because it was ridiculous. So that was the first time I really ever defended myself against a woman and just gave her one little quick boom, snap her out of it. Not proud of that, but what choice did I have? Flash forward now to I'm a DJ working at this nightclub. It was Mr. Hips at the time. I think it changed to Club XS in Seaside Heights, New Jersey. And there was this woman I knew. She was really cute, man. She used to work the cash register at a store in my hometown there. Curly hair, tiny little pixie looking thing. And I was always enamored by her. I always just thought, man, she's just gorgeous. And as a DJ, when I was at JJ Rockers, she came in on Halloween wearing like a Catwoman suit. And I recognized her, even though she had the mask on. And I said, on the mic, I was pretty good on the mic, JJ Rockers, Seaside's only rock and roll nightclub. I could do that whole thing with the voice on the mic and all this stuff. And I was good like that. And I called her name out during this everybody was on the dance floor dancing. Is that so-and-so? And she came up and we started dating. And it wasn't a good thing. She liked to drink, and she was a little cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs, which meant she was, a good time. But it was going a little sideways, and I could see it. And so every time that we spent a night together afterwards, she always wanted to pick some kind of argument with me. So eventually I kind of distanced myself and let it peter out, because I could tell she was the type that, a lot of women will tell you, be honest, tell me what you want, or tell me what you think and all this. But the truth is they don't really want that. Like if you're cool and you're like, hey, I'm not feeling this. I'm not feeling the same thing you are. Then boom, everything snaps and they go crazy and they got to hate you or whatever. There's this emotional instability there. It's not cool, man. So that's why men will disappear, because they know you're too volatile. Right? If they try to actually be cool with you and tell you what's going on, you're too volatile. You're not going to be able to handle it well. Not all of you. I'm not talking about all women. Don't take it wrong, ladies. I know there's like 8% of my followers now are women, so I hope I'm not offending you. It was like 1% a few weeks ago. There's a few more you follow now. Thanks. So anyhow, that was it. Nothing happened. I hadn't talked to her for a while, months. I remember running into one of her girlfriends at the Bamboo. You guys remember that place in Seaside? And her girlfriend was asking me some questions about her. I didn't have much to say. I must have said something, because weeks went by and I was working at XS, Club XS, and there was this second level balcony that looked over the dance floor. And I'm like, I got like a few hundred people on the dance floor dancing. And I just put a song on, and I turn around to look at my music to decide what I'm going to pick next. And here's this little girl. She's a woman, but she was tiny. And she's got her hands on her hips, and she's loaded. And she's like, I got a bone to pick with you. And I'm like, okay, but now's not the time. I'm in the middle of working. What are you telling people about us? I said, nothing. There is no us. We haven't spoken in months. What are you talking about? I said, listen, you have to I'm in the middle of working. I got people on the dance floor. I got to pick a song. She's not having it. She's just yelling and screaming at me. So I just, picked her up. She was so tiny. I just picked her up by her waist and carried her. We had a door to the DJ booth, which she had opened and come right in. So I just picked her up, took her out, placed her down. I go to walk away, and I turn like this, and she punches me in the side of my head, right in the ear. Well, bam! And I'm like, what? I turn around like I wanted to do something, but I didn't. And I'm like, what are you doing? And she grabs me by the throat with both hands and starts strangling me. And I don't even know what the heck she was saying. She was incoherent and drunk, So I grab her, but you know what? I think I have this backwards. I think she did that part first. She grabbed me by that's what happened. I put her down. She grabbed me by the throat with both hands. I'm sorry. It's a terrible, I'm ruining the story. She grabs me by the throat with both hands. She's yelling and screaming at me, and I grab her hands, and I broke them free from my throat and pinned them to her sides and held her up against the wall. I said, hey, what are you doing? You're acting crazy. You're just upset with me because I don't want to go out with you anymore. calm down. I put her down. I turned to walk away. That's when she hit me in the side of the head, right in the ear. And I turned around like, what the? And there was two people walking up the stairs, and they had seen the whole thing. So that was it. I didn't put a hand on her. I actually just defended myself. I didn't hit her, strike her in any way. But it was just, actually, it was funny. It wasn't funny at all. At the time, I was going to college and full-time and working the nightclub at nights and doing some carpentry work when I could, even for the club, actually. And the club owner. I actually took a wall down in her house, put a beam up and everything else. But I was studying with this girl from school, and there's a knock at the door, and it's the cops, and she had pressed charges against me. This is just a few days later, and my whole neck is just, it's black and blue and red and scratch marks and everything, and the side of my head is bruised. She really clocked me, man. So I went right away. I went to my buddy John's and said, hey, man, take pictures of this, and the court date comes, and I show up, and she doesn't even show up. So it was just thrown out. But I'm just saying, those are the two instances where I had to defend myself from crazy women. And so now I just try to avoid women altogether. You want to know why I'm single? I'm getting some pretty wild questions for the question video. I can't answer all these questions. Some of them, it's too much. Some of you ladies, you're pretty funny stuff. But anyhow, that's the thing. So yeah, you should never hit a woman, but at the same time, there are times when you have to defend yourself, right? I mean, and it's not all women, clearly, but some women, if they're like that, if they lose their minds and their emotions get the better of them and they invade your space, they're being threatening, what are you supposed to do? You could do the best you can, but as soon as they start laying hands on you, or cornering you, if you don't know the person, it's different if you know the person, you have some sort of background with them. That's a little bit of a different situation because you can diffuse it a little bit different. But a perfect stranger, a larger statured person, I mean, some of these women are walking around, they're 200 pounds, 150 to 200 pounds. And you don't know that person, and they're in your face, and they're backing you up. And cursing at you, and it's scary. What are you supposed to do? In that situation, you could be justified. It's not right. I don't like the idea of even suggesting it, but you can't be a sucker, and you can't allow yourself to be put in a dangerous situation where you yourself or yours can get hurt. Yeah, one of the last video I just watched was this lady in New York City going nuts, just taking stuff out of people's hands and breaking bottles and turning over tables at restaurants, eventually getting arrested. People are crazy and losing their minds. There's all this stuff. People getting shot in their yard because of lawn clippings, and it's a crazy world out there. And I live in the middle of it. I could sit here and tell you crazy stories about LA and the things that have happened to me. I've told them already. There's some of them right here on YouTube. Yeah, it's a crazy world out there. You just never know what you're going to run into. So, situational awareness, avoiding problems before they happen. You don't want to engage back and forth with somebody, especially someone you don't know who's giving you a lot of heat, talking crap. Don't bark back with that. You could stare at them at that point and be like, let them know. But I don't know what else to tell you, man. Learn how to defend yourself. And, ladies, try to calm it down a little bit, take it down a couple notches. You don't want a man to crack you one in the head. You're going to feel it. You don't want that to happen. Anyhow, I don't know if you're going to get anything out of this. I just told a couple very embarrassing stories here. I mean, things that did not make me feel good as a young kid and as a man. It's not cool. It's not cool at all. But this thing where some people feel that they can just do and say whatever they want to you and get away with it, or confront you physically, or grab you physically, or hit you, or attack you, and then expect not for that person not to defend themselves. That's like a temporary insanity thing. Like, they're losing their crap so much, they totally lose all control of what, comprehension and logic and everything goes right out the window. And then once it gets to a physical state, What are you supposed to do? I'm asking you. Anyhow, it's the only couple times I ever had to place my hands on a woman. I'm still not happy about it. So, say what you will. Anyhow, have a great day. Be good to one another. And, let's all try to be better people. Let's all calm down. I'll catch you guys in the next one.